Next is the corporate governance. So this is very important for any organization. Whatever the things you already discussed are there. So this is the definition of a corporate governance. It was issued by the Public Enterprise Department of the Treasury. I will share the book also with you. So corporate governance is a system by which the entities are directed, controlled and managed. So you have to direct the organization to the proper direction, and you have to control the things, and you have to manage it properly. It refers to the best practices and processes that directs or control the operations and the long-term sustainability of an entity. So the it still give the it refers to the best practices and processes that directs to control the operations and the long-term sustainability of an entity. So nowadays the government is discussing about the some of the public enterprises going to be privatized because they are not profitable. So but if you have proper corporate governance, so you can make the profits. So most of the engineering organizations are managed by engineers, almost all positions. Sometimes maybe even the, the marketing part is managed by the engineers. So therefore, we have the responsibility that we can run we can have the sustainability of the company, and also it is going with profits. These practices and processes should fundamentally facilitate the decision making and operational capability of the entity while maintaining a healthy balance of fairness, responsibility, transparency, and accountability. This is where coming the ethics also. So it should be, you have to have the proper responsibility and the accountability, and it should be transparent. Whatever the things you are doing, it should be transparent. So this public enterprise department issues a very good manual called the Guidance on Corporate Governance for State-Owned Enterprises. So as I earlier also explained, state-owned enterprises have some freedom to operate and make progress their organizations. So I will share that book with you now. So this is the book, uh, corporate guidelines on corporate governance for state-owned enterprises. So definition I told you, uh, it's here. Now this has these things: the governing structure, uh, the governing structure, so board of directors, strategic planning, the chief executive officers, the responsibilities and the accountability, secretary of the board. Then you have the internal controls and the risk management. So to make have the transparency, you need the audit committee, and you can have your internal audit. So you can the risk is a very important matter those days. If you properly manage the risk, so you can sustain your company. Now, especially in these days, there are a lot of risks for the businesses. So therefore, you have to identify the risk in advance and manage those things. Then the ethics for board members and management. Then the annexures, we have the guideline for the preparation of strategic plan, action plan, and annual budget. So uh, I will. So this is the one I have taken here. Corporate governance. What is corporate governance? Corporate governance system by which the entities are directed, that we discussed, and it explains what is fairness, what is accountability, responsibility. The director should carry out their duties and honesty, probity and integrity. So the you also just like the director, therefore this is relevant to all engineers. Then the transparency. So this was issued very recently. So engineering council also one of the public enterprises. So therefore, so I have the experience of now studying this one and we are applying this as they given the given instructions as per the given instruction. Then the strategic directions. So set strategic directions through the strategic plan. In setting strategic directions, the board of directors will ensure that such directions support the achievement of the objectives of the entity and are in line with the national policies and priorities. So, so we have to identify what is the mandate given to your organization. Then you have to set your goals, strategic direction, ensure that directions support the achievement of the objectives of the entity. What is the objective of NC? Say the Ceylon Electricity Board. The main objective is to provide the power to the citizens and also the industry. So that is the main objective. How you can achieve those objectives and are in line with the national policies and priorities. Since these are state-owned enterprises, so they have to in line with the national policies. So when you take organization, organizations have their policies and they are the strategic plan. So when it is going down, maybe the division sections are there. They also should align to those strategic plan. Then they have explained those things. Then I will go to this strategic plan. It is in the annexure. Now, this is the annexure. Annexure 1. Guidelines for the preparation of strategic plan, action plan, and annual budget. So you have to prepare these things and submit to the public enterprise department in advance, if it is a state-owned enterprise. So if it is a private entity, so you have to submit to board of directors. So they have their policies. The strategic planning process sets out a robust way forward to the organization to ensure the achievement of its objectives while ensuring the optimal utilization of resources. To this one, you have to do the SWOT analysis, then the pestle analysis, and different analysis and Porter's five forces theory. Based on that one, we can first you have to get the inputs from those things. And sometimes if it is a new business, if you are going to start a new business with a private company, sometimes you may find out this business is not profitable if you properly analyze in this way. Then the establish goals in line with the mission of the organization. A goal is a short statement of desired outcome to be accomplished over the medium term, usually 3 to 5 years. So that you have to first prepare the goals. Then establish objectives according to the SMART criteria. So the SMART should be specific, measurable, achievable, like that. The timely, you can achieve those things. Then perform a gap analysis to identify difference between the current status of business and where it should be in line with the set objectives. Then strategies should be generated to fill the identified efficiency and development gaps. Now, first you prepare the goals, then you have to prepare the strategies to achieve these goals. Then establishment of performance evaluation measures. So this is not just a document. You have to make sure it is practically working. So therefore, we have to have a document to have the KPIs, key performance indicators shall be established to measure the output and outcome of the business operations. Then you have to have an action plan for this one. So the action plan articulates set of strategies, specific activities and actions that need to be completed in order to achieve objectives. Then you have the goals, then you have the strategies, then you have your objectives. To achieve these objectives, you can have the actions. What are the actions should be done? Then the annual budget and forecasted financial statements. Budgeted income statement, budget financial position, budgeted cash flow statement, capital expenditure budget, those things you have to prepare. So these are the key areas for strategic planning. So the strategic plan, you have to do the SWOT analysis, you have to have vision statement, mission statement, what are the organization goals, then objectives to achieve each goal, strategies for each objective, key performance indicators, summarize forecasted financial statements. So I can show you the things we have prepared for this one for the Engineering Council Sri Lanka. Although it's not a commercial organization, we should have a strategic plan for that also. Then you can have the action plan, then the annual budget. So this is the specimen for action plan. So you have the goals, you have the objectives, you have the strategies. Under that one, what are the activities should be done? Then the estimated cost, time targets in month, and the responsible person. In that way, you can prepare. Then preparation of budget, you can have the budget preparation process, the specimen. You don't want to have the same thing as it is. The production budget, material, labor, overhead budget, cost of sales budget, then the marketing and distribution, and likewise you have the budgets there. So, Stasel, if you want to add anything, you can interrupt and add for these things.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I will go to the the business plan or the strategic plan of the Engineering Council Sri Lanka. Before that, do you want to add anything, Stasel?
No, that's okay, Mr. Terastara.
Okay,
I
fine.
will